Guys, welcome to WAOF1. I was the good talking. I've just started now. I was off doing something. So anyway, I'm back now. Welcome to WAOF1 round. And is it the season again? I've completely forgotten. I typed it a second ago. It's round 10, I think, and we're at Bahrain, Scotland. Says Snake. Sweet from Gonzo. Here he is. Here he is. So there's a big rivalry going on tonight, actually, between and Junkie Emperor. So that is the one to watch. Oh, Mark's left the session. That ain't no good. Getting back in. So fresh from having commentated a race at, well, it should have been 6 o'clock, but it was 6:30. Around Austria for JD's League, and I have to say, very good race indeed. Certainly one I enjoy commentating on, and I'm sure, well, I'm positive, in fact, that this will be very much the same. So we should be full grid, but short, so Leary is missing. I know there's a few people out there who'll be a bit disappointed, but Corporal Arsal is missing as well at the minute. Fingers crossed. Maybe they'll wake up in time and join us or something. Oh, I've been chucked out already. That's good, isn't it? Great. Chucked out the lobby already. That's a good start. I didn't have any issues in JD's league. Mr. Well. Sort your lobby out. Get it, get it. Right, let's get back in. At least we won't have missed anything doing the setups and then heading out on a outlap, so we're not going to miss anything. Rather it happen there than in the middle of the race or something. So here we go then. I don't want anything on that. Enabled. We've got full track map already. Excellent. Right then, is Cool first out? No, he's not. It is Gonzo. So we're going to go with what sort of lap he can on the board. That's what happened to you, Mark. Is it you back in now? Yeah, it's been happening to me a lot recently, to be honest. But I was hoping that the update today might have Leary should be here shortly. Thank you. Yeah, you're back. Good. Okay, so Leary should be with us shortly, and I believe he drives a McLaren, so that gives us 2 McLarens. But I guess we don't know where Corporal Arsol is. Which is always disappointing because there's always another reserve that could have taken a seat if somebody can't make it. So please, if you can't make it, make sure that someone knows, that Whale knows, Oozers knows, I know, any... So, Gonzo... I must admit, let's go on board. I do like this track. This has to be one of my favourites of the season. Commentator. And it's up there on my drive list as well. Well, let's be honest, if you feel like you're decent at a track, then that tends to be at the top, somewhere near the top of your favourite list. So, you know, I feel I'm quite decent around here. So, 27-1 on time trial. But, a little while ago, as Reed is disqualified from the session for having parked in a dangerous location. Looks like that dangerous location was out of turn 3. That was a spin, as Gonzo gets us underway with a 29.7. Snake 30.0. It's huge. We've lost one of the favourites. Operator was on an outlap. fastest for the moment. Oh no, I'm not connected. So, right, who we got? Liam's on an outlap. Junkie, I think, heading for the line. 1:29.6 goes P3 for the moment. Oozer's heading down towards the final corner. There is a car ahead of him, but keep an eye on the... I think it's a Williams. Yeah, it's Gaza who crosses the line on a 30.5. Goes into P8 just behind his teammate. Oozer's into P9, 130.7. Where are we? We've got coming round. Wales on an outlap. Operators just behind Whale on his hot first lap. Operator gets much toe off of the Alpha Tower as he could. 31.2 has him in P12 at the moment. Danny on his way into the final corner. So he heads to the line, and it's 29.1, that's fastest so far. These guys have got a lot more in them yet, I promise. Liam spun it, coming out the final corner. He's hit the barrier, but I don't think he hit it hard enough to actually cause any damage. It's good news, he's also right next to the pits. Yeah, his tyres look shot now, so he may just pit straight away. So, right, Mark in the Red Bull then, coming down towards the final corner. Bad lap from you, Snake. Where are you? You're P8, 1:30.0. I don't think that would be that bad come the end of the session, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say you're safe on it. I don't know if you're safe or not, but we'll see. 1:30.2 from Mark then puts in P10. Whale on his way down towards the final corner. Yellow flags are flashing. It's 29.9 from Whale, that puts him into P6. Go to the Gooner. He's the only other one I know is on a hot lap, so... Leary joins us. Excellent. So Leary has appeared in the pit lane. Late into his car. He'd be in trouble in the McLaren garage. Being late. At least he's here. He's not in as much trouble as Corporal Aerosol is at Alpha Tauri. Doing an M107.3 through Sector 2. So yeah, I think come qualifying 3, I think we'll be seeing high 105s through Sector 2. Or at least low 106s. Yellow's flashing again down there. Not quite sure why that is. Across the line, 29.2 puts the Gooner into P2, just behind Danny. But importantly for him, 4 attempts of a second ahead of Junkie Emperor. As they begin their epic battle at Bahrain. The Battle of Bahrain. Right, let's go down. Dean, are you actually on a hot lap? Tell me, unfortunately it's not really telling me he was on a hot lap and who's not, so... Racing J. I didn't see Racing J cross the line. He's 29.5, gone into P4. I guess had gone into P3, but the Gooner moved above him. So we know Racer J's not on a lap because the car ahead's moved out his way and he's still not gone past him. So right, let's go to Cool by the Pool then. Let's do a hot lap with hilly hot lap with Cool by the Pool. So we've got DRS open, cross the line and head down to turn 1. Heavy, late braking around the 100 metre board just before it. Down to He's down to third. Usually, I think you've seen most drop into second. Accelerate, short shifting out of turn 2. Keep the car over to the left, ready for turn 4. Again, late braking, late apex as well. You'd want to take the corner as close to the inside curb as you can, but not actually touching it. Then we head through the quick left, right, left. So important to be able to come out of this corner on full power. Accelerate throughout it. Heavy right-hander then, again, it's just about getting your steering wheel straight, accelerating away to take into what is arguably the hardest corner of the circuit, a hard braking left-hander. Very, very tight. Open up DRS on the straight, head down, keep your car over to the right. And again, coming to a late apex again, usually in 5th, so you can accelerate out, flat out through this right-hander. Do not touch the inside curb, it's not worth your life. And down to 4th, all about accelerating out. Oh, he's invalidated, just crossed the white line. Otherwise, I think he was looking at a decent lap here, Cool. He's pretty much held it together all nicely. Bit of oversteer out the final corner, but we basically get the idea of a hot lap around Bahrain. Thank you, Cool. Out of pole. So, heading for the line. And he improves by 4.5 tenths. That puts him up to P13. Anybody else? Snake is out there. Snake's just started the lap. Stroudy on a hot lap, but it's just over a tenth down through sector 1. Sector 2 is probably the sector where you can gain the most time. Let's see how he's doing through there. Yeah, he's up now, just over a tenth and a half up. He's actually purpled sector 2 as Racing J retires in the pits, and I believe Daguna's done the same as well. We haven't lost either of them. Stroudy through the final corner. A little bit tentative. Gets on the power and heads into the pits. He must have lost the advantage he had through sector 2. Who is this? This is Gaza. He's actually on an outlap. It doesn't show that on the left, but if you look at the time in the top right, over 2 minutes, he's actually on an outlap. I don't know why the game's been doing that recently. It's a little glitch in the game. As Sol takes out all the braking boards, left-handers, to let the Haas through. Of operator who's on an outlap in a way, so just destroyed all the braking boards for everybody else. Who's the Alpha Tauri? That's Snake, isn't it? So not improving Snake. I think he's going to be alright on the time he's on, but it actually could be quite close. It's one of those sort of times where it's not, you don't feel massively comfortable believing that. Let's go to Gaza in a way. Who's ever so slightly, a couple of hundredths up in sector 1. I drive with this man regularly, and he's definitely got a faster time than him. I don't think he's got any worries of not getting through. Just needs to get a clean lap in. See how he's doing through sector 2. And he's 3 tenths up. It's down, exit nicely. Heads down to the final corner. Here he comes then, and it's 1:30.2, improves by nearly quarter of a second, and goes P13 just behind Mark. Operator. Oh, that hasn't invalidated him. Can he keep the improvement though? He would have had to come off the power quite significantly not to invalidate that. So, final corner, very nice. What's he do? He heads to the line. And 1:31.1. He does improve by just under a tenth, but unfortunately lost too much time because of the instance. But wasn't really on for an improvement that was going to see him through. I'm just trying to work out, actually, if he can get round and pit and get back out again. It's going to be tight, I think, but he might be able to. Leary... Ah, right, okay, Leary is heading out on track now, so we'll get to see a lap from him. Anybody else? Snake? No. Just a whale. No, he's not on a proper lap there. So maybe. Slightly down through sector 1. Runs out wide and he's a few temps down now, which, yeah, he's definitely not going to get back from that exit. AlphaTauri running very wide of Snake there. Just wondering of operator. He's coming down towards the final corner. It's really, really tight. If he's got the fuel, he might be better served by just doing another cooldown lap to save energy. So gain some energy back by doing another cooldown lap and then having a final go. I don't know if he'd have pitted if he'd have been able to get out in time again. It's been really tight. So just starting a lap. Liam was on an out lap as well. Okay. Right, let's go to Sol anyway. Can be watching the guys here who were in contention of trying to get through. Why is Oozer's not coming out again? I'd like to see Oozer's give up. He usually gives it a go. There is a Ferrari coming out the pits, so maybe that is him. It is Oozer's, excellent. So Oozer's is out of the pits, so he should be crossing the line with just a few 3 or 4 seconds to go, you'd imagine, from here. So can't hang about too much on his outlap. But Sol comes through second split and is up. Not the best of exits though, out of the right hander. We'll see if he keeps the time. Currently in P14. Oh, and I think that Haas going in is operator. And so he does improve Sol. 3 temps, goes up to P12 ahead of Mark and Gaza. Liam was improving through sector 2. And does improve, but stays P15. Leary through the final corner. Don't think it's going to be quick enough. 131.7 keeps him in P18. He's on his way down to the final corner. He should get across the line. He should be okay. Yeah, he will. He will. So, looks like it's only Oozers. So, operator pitted. I thought he was doing another cooldown lap ready. But maybe he went for it and didn't improve again. So, we're basically looking at... Oh, and I think Oozers... maybe it wasn't Oozers. Might have been a Red Bull. Well, Liam is well down, so let's go to Oozers then. Comes up towards the end of sector 1 and is 10.5 down. Oh, and that's a big off and into the wall. How is he not retired? Absolutely threw him into the wall. And I am amazed that didn't retire him, but that does of course end his lap. What about Leary? Is he improving? No, he's not. So I think we know who we're losing, and that is the first time for a long time that Oozers will leave us in Q1. Unfortunately, he's just been disqualified, which means he's going to drop down to 18th to start this race. Leary doesn't improve, but goes up to 17th because of disqualification. So we're going to lose from Q1. We're going to lose Operator, Leary, Oozers, and Reed. Surprised I hadn't heard from Reed to find out what happened, but would have been annoying for him. No improvement going on from Mark, and nobody else is on a lap to improve. So yeah, just waiting for Mark. Then he can drive into the pits or he can cross the line. It doesn't matter which he does. Both will take us to the end. So there we go. So across the line then from Mark, and that will end Q1. So Danny fastest in Q1, but he, as well as a lot of other drivers, has got an awful lot more time in them just yet. They're not even close to their fastest, so some of these guys. So yeah, a bit of sandbagging going on out there. Massive shame, so you lose Rocket Reed and Oozers. Rocket Reed would have been one of the favourites for pole position. Oozers, I'm sure, could have got through to Q3 if he'd have got a clean lap in. Leary late in, so you can forgive a slower lap from him. And Operator, I don't know what happened with him at the end there. I think he maybe went for it a lap too early. Maybe should have done another cool down lap, unless he didn't have the fuel, of course. But there we have it. So we head into Q2. We do have 15 drivers involved in Q2, so the full quota. Yes, Moomin, it is. Oh, Operator, you were 0.3 up and invalidated the lap. Okay. Oh, really? Oh, goodness me. Yeah, if you're stuck in the gravel, mate, you know, or like it does sometimes, you get stuck on a curb. In this league, yes, we do allow you to reset to track in that situation. A good idea to take a clip in case somebody has anything to say about it. So I would suggest taking a clip, but yes, you can reset to track if you are stuck. But yes, you do need to take a clip of it. Unless, well, our users want to tell me I'm wrong on that. I don't, you know, as far as I'm aware, that is. Oh well, 0.3 up and invalidated then, Operator. So actually, that would have been close then. I think that would have been close. Across the line to getting you through. Sorry, I'm neglecting the actual what's going on in front of me. Who was it? Is it Mr. Whale out first? It is indeed. I keep doing that. I do wish they'd go back to last year's system of being able to qualify on mediums. You've got to start on the Q2 tyre if you're in the top 10. I do think that was better. At the moment, I just don't think qualifying's fun in real life at the moment, because you can pretty much write down who the top 10 are going to be before the start of qualifying every races. Just makes it pointless. When I first started playing online, which was on F1-21, around November time last year, I was normally qualifying in that sort of range of 8, 9, 10, 11 sort of thing. Depending on the league, sometimes a bit further up, other times it's a bit further back, but it's in that region. And, you know, I actually did. If I felt like I had P11, I was happy to start P11. That was probably better for me than qualifying just inside the top 10. Whereas the fun of that's gone out a bit now, and it's just, you know, just drive as fast as you can and try and get as high up the grid as you can. There's no tactics involved, strategies. But that's my moan anyway. Mr. Whale He's on to first hot lap of Q2. There's a bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully they'll be nice and aware. Always a good place if you got fast cars coming up. Unless that's Merc, it's Junkie Emperor, and he actually started his lap. I didn't see why I'll let anybody through, maybe I'm wrong. Merc ain't driving slowly, is it? Otherwise well be catching him. Maybe I'm on board with the wrong person. Don't matter anyway. We're with well. There's a couple of Alfa Romeos heading for the line. Yeah, it's Dagooner 29.8. Cool by the Pool 29.9. That's closely matched. Junkie Emperor 30.6. Whale 29.4. Gonzo's managed 29.7. He's done better than he managed in Q1. Ferrari is Danny heading for the line. As Moomin goes fastest 29.3. Danny crosses the line 29.4. Puts him in P3. I have to say it could be really tight getting through into Q3. Going by the times in the first session. Racing J 28.9, and that will see him through. This is Sol 30.2. Dean Bryce. That's good. 29.3. Goes P3 with that one. Mark into P9 on a 30.1. Gaza 30.2 goes P10. Mr. McLaren, Liam Ash went 29.7 and goes P6. Stroudy heads to the line 30.097, that puts him P10. So everybody with a lap on the board, apart from Snake, who's on an out lap at the moment. So just check Junkie Emperor, actually, he might have gone again. Is he? No, he's gone into the pits, okay. So Snake. So you can see, can't you? It's going to be close, this. We know Junkie Emperor's got a lot more in him. He went a lot faster than that in Q1, I believe. Didn't he? That was 30.6, mate, right. I remember now. So, Snake with invalidation, but still is out lap, so makes absolutely no difference. So there's enough time for the drivers to do 3 runs around here, but Snake gets out of the way. What he doesn't know is nobody's on a hot lap, so he can just get going. That's the thing, I do wish they'd improve the radio calls. Surely it could tell you the car approaching is on a hot lap, or it's on a cool-down lap, or whatever. So across the line he comes. Mr. Snake, let's go on board. Up. Wow, that's not invalidated. Amazed at that. I usually suggest that the driver backed out enough that he didn't gain an advantage. Oh, Snake has backed out the lap. He's not happy with it, so he's backed out this one. So let's move on then. We've got the Gooner and Gonzo both on out laps. So I don't want to stay right next to each other like this. Just go to Gonzo then. Mr. Gooner lets him through. So, only enough, these two in P7 and P8 at the moment, separated by less than half a tenth. Both certainly capable of getting into Q3, so I do think it's going to be really tight. I do think the cut-off's going to be in the 29s. It's not going to be in the 30s from the end of this session. It's just how far into the 29s I'm not sure about. Goes to turn 4. Wow. Huge improvement. Set to 1. It's actually purple. Nicely through there. It's looking good, Gonzo. Here, I think this lap, as long as final corner goes alright, which it does, I think this is going to be enough to take him into Q3. 29.2 puts in P2. Let's go to Daguna, who actually goes quicker than Gonzo and goes into P2 himself. It's a very nice lap from both of them. Let's go to the Ferrari. Danny. Oh, he's on an out lap. So forget that. Who's behind him? Junkie. We get split time, so I don't know what we're doing. Oh, a little bit of an oversteer moment at the final corner, but saves it and heads down to the line. 29.5 puts him into P8 on 29.5. So the P10 is now a 29.9. Is that? This heading for the line movement. 29.1 puts him into P2. Stridey on an out lap. Just Mark. Heading into the pits. We've got here, this is Gaza charging for the line. He's into the 29s, 29.6 puts him into P9. Directly behind him, that was Sol. Goes into P10 on a 29.7. Snake's invalidated. See if he's got enough time. Ferrari there, Danny going past him. Danny improving by nearly a second. This is going to take him well into the 28s. Wow, this is laying down a gauntlet of some magnitude. 28.4. I think he has just turned around and said, I am taking pole tonight, guys. If anybody else thinks they can lay that down. Of course, he needs to do it again himself. In Q3. Stridey backside. Okay, we've still got another 3 minutes left. I didn't realise we had that long left in the session, so plenty of time yet. But wow, that series of laps though has really upped the ante. Mark has retired in the pits. So Mark did improve himself up to 29.9. He's decided maybe rather save the tyres he's got left. Stridey speeds it up then and looks to start another attempt. Say again, I think he's got the fuel, he would have been better served to turning the energy off and doing another slow lap. But, retirements coming up now from drivers that feel they've done enough. Pretty tidy so far from Strody. Liverpool performed absolutely superbly last week. Just notice, okay, his fuel lights are now flashing, which suggests he couldn't have done another cool down lap. So, the reason I said about that, look where his energy is now. So head to the line. He manages 29.6, improves by quite a bit and does get into P10. So he is not out of this just yet. Pull by the pool onto a lap. Who else we got out there at the moment? Stroud's there. Junkie's on an out lap, but he's not going to make it. But he's in P8 in a moment on the time he set previously. I'm sure he's on an out lap though. Absolutely nowhere near making it. So I think we go to who's further around. Cool. Well, they're really close to each other. Don't worry about the yellow flag, that is Stroudy, who's actually ran out of fuel now, so we know for certain he didn't have enough fuel to do an extra cooldown lap. Now, it just seems to me that maybe Snake is gaining on us slightly as we ride with Cool by the pool. Cool is 4 attempts up, so Stroudy's the man in trouble, and it looks like Cool by the pool. Oh, Snake has spun it! So Snake has spun it, which means Gaza is safe. But Cool by the pool goes through into P10 and knocks out Stroudy in Q2. But Snake, unfortunately, had a spin. Right at the end of sector 2, and so will leave us. Stroudy, we know, has completely run out of fuel. Which is he going to do? He's going to head into pits, I believe. Yeah, just do that, Stroudy. That's fine. Okay, right. There we go. So just to confirm then, we do lose Stroudy, Sol, Liam Ash, Mark, and Snake from Q2. Snake obviously is going to be hugely disappointed. We didn't get to see a sector 2 time, but he spun just before the end of sector 2, but I'm pretty sure because of how close he was to Cool, I am so sure that he was on a time that would have got him through. But nonetheless, don't score points for qualifying in a way. You've got to do that in a race, which is still to come. Before that, we've got the pole position shootout. After that performance, you've got to say that Danny is looking a pretty big favourite for pole, but again, we don't know. You could still get a bit of sandbagging going on in Q2. It's, how close it was, though. Absolutely superb. Looking at it, obviously Danny out a bit on his own and Racing J a bit of a gap, but then just looking at those sorts of times, the guys that are just outside here, 1.3 there from Liam Ash, 1.2 on P10 look. So those guys, just nothing separating them. We thought that was going to be a tight one. It certainly proved right. Yeah, nice to Gooner. Good luck, man. Yeah, Strody, we were on board with you, and it said it's a shame you didn't have enough fuel to do an extra slow lap, so you could have got a bit more energy back. But it is what it is. Yeah, you definitely lost a bit of time because of the ERS right at the end of the lap, but only just missed out. Right then, let's get some things on. Can hear an engine. So then, as I'm sure you heard, I was just making myself another coffee, and I'm back at my TV. So, Gads are making it through to Q3, which is something he's managed to do every race. So, and I think he's had a couple of races now where he was outside the top 10. So I think he'd be pretty pleased with himself getting into the top 10 tonight. I know, as a racer, he sets himself a bit higher standard than sort of just scraping through to Q3, but I think it takes the pressure off a little bit for him getting through this one. And we'll see if he can get up the grid a bit here. But anyway, the Gooner first across the line. The Gooner and Junkie Emperor, the big rivalry tonight in both into Q3. Gooner on his third race with us tonight. Junkie Emperor just started in first race tonight. Anybody wondering why there's a bit of a rivalry there is because in HRF1, where Well and myself race as well, and I commentate on their Sundays as well. They are Ferrari teammates, and they're absolutely walking the championship, these two. But they've promised they're going to battle to the end of the season. They've been helping each other out throughout the season. Now they're battling through to the end of the season in that league. So every time they're on track together, there's going to be big rivalry going on. So looking pretty tidy from the Gooner. Wants to split. Oh, that's invalidated him. Just as I say, I tell you what, I really do carry the commentator's curse with me tonight. Literally say he's looking tidy, bang, invalidated. His teammate though, called by the pool, not far behind him, and he is still on a lap. So heading for the line, and it's 29.0 from Call by the Pool. That's a nice starter time. 29.1 from Gonzo. So those two have already improved on what they've managed before. Junkie 29.7. Who was that? Racing J 28.5. Okay. Wow. Danny's crossing the line, but he's on an outlap. Let's go to Gaza. I think Moomin's ahead of us on track. Yeah, he goes into P3 on the 29.0. 2 thousandths of a second slower than Call by the Pool. Gaza 29.6 into P6. That was, who have I missed there? Whale, I believe. He's gone into P2 on a 29.0. He does surprise me every week, you know. To Gunnar. I think having another go, but he's low on energy, so let's go to Danny. Let's see if he still does the old... Oh my word, he actually geared down below 4th. Did you see that? He geared down to 3rd. If you were watching last week, you know what I'm talking about. Mr. I never go below 4th. He just did. See what he means though, can't you? Keeping it in higher gears than others around the track. Interesting. Here he comes then. It's on to straight towards the line, opens up the DRS, and it's 28.5 as well. So 5:02, 7 thousandths of a second separating him and Racing J. He just seemed to have gone ahead that little bit extra, haven't they? Daguna managed 29.7. Bearing in mind he didn't have enough energy for a lap, and he also been on slightly more worn tyres than he'd have liked, having to do a 3rd lap. So his proper run is going to be on the final run. So only had really enough time for 2 runs in Q3, so current pole sitter then, Danny, but at the moment, as he has a little spin as well. Yeah, at the moment, really tight between him and Racing J. And it's really interesting to see who's going to be the best of the rest as well at the moment. At the moment, it's Wales sitting in P3. But I think any of those other drivers actually could potentially go into a high 28 and nick that. And that is any of them. I know Gaza can do it, so... And Gonzo, Dean, Moomin, called by the pool, and well himself, obviously very close to it in a way. But as I know Gaza can, and Junkie I'm sure could on a perfect lap, and Laguna the same, so could be really interesting and to qualify who can put that perfect lap on the board. So, first out for what should be their final run is Gonzo. So he head to the line. Let's see. What's he got in him? So, through the first few corners, pretty comfortably. Let's go on board. It's looking tidy at the moment. And being tidy has gained him a 10th, and that was very nice. Yeah, still looking very tidy. I think we might see a bit more of an improvement. Sector 2. Good through the right hander, and yeah, slightly better again. He actually purples Sector 2. So very good Sector 2 from him. It's going to be tight. Can we break the 28s? No. Actually only improves by the 200ths in the end. And stays P7. Oh, he'd be disappointed in the end, I think, with that. Newman is trying quarter of a second through Sector 1. 3.5 temps through Sector 2. As the Williams gets out of his way. Make sure it was... Yeah, that was Gaza that got out of his way. He was on a lap. According to my screen, he is in a way. So Mooman, 28.6, goes P3. And I think probably secures P3. Junkie out the front. No, he's on an out lap. It's doing that weird glitch thing again. So I don't actually know who's on a lap and who's not at the moment, unfortunately. Let's go to Racing J. No, he can't be on a lap. He's way too far down. Right. Okay, well, exactly. Mr. Whale is starting a hot lap, so at least we know he's on a lap now. So we'll stick with him for now. And Danny's behind him on track, so... Yellow flags, and that was Gonzo retiring in the pits, so nothing to worry about there. Did actually make me look away and miss Wells' sets of one time. So again, sound like a little lock up there. Since when does Well not use ABS? Six temps up. He's absolutely flying. He's on for pole. Provisional pole. Oh, oversteer out the final corner. That's going to hurt. Yeah, he misses out on pole, but he does manage 28.8 and consolidates that P4, but he was absolutely on for pole before the mistake out the final corner. Managed to snip to Danny. He's improving. Heads to the line, 28.0. So he would have taken it off of Whale, but... Oh, Racing J spins it. He was slightly down out of Sector 2, needed a really good exit to give him a chance of an improvement. Called by the pool, was not improving. What about the Gooner? Heads to the line, he was up, improves by 3 temps, but stays P9, so advantage Junkie Emperor in their little personal battle. But that is the end of qualifying, so Danny takes pole in the end by a slightly flattering half a second. But if not for his mistake in the final corner, Whale would have been P2. 6 temps up he was through Sector 2. Maybe got a bit excited in his seat and oversteered out of the final corner, which lost him the time. But Racing J P2 then, so close enough to Danny to make this a really decent race. But we know then that Whale does have the pace as well. Moomin is always thereabouts. So, yeah, well, congratulations to Danny anyway on pole position. Racing J P2, Moomin P3, Whale P4, unlucky not to be P2. Dean P5, Cool by the Pool, very good from Dean and Cool by the Pool P5 and P6. Gonzo in P7, very well done. Junkie, brilliant actually in P8. 29.2 is P8, that's unreal. 29.4 from Dagooner. He's a position down on Junkie in the personal battle, but very close. And Gaza takes P10, first time in the top 10 in qualifying for a few weeks. So I think I may actually be happy with P10, to be honest, because we've seen it's a very fast field out there. So we do take a break, guys. So we're gonna have a 5-minute break. Whoever looks good for the race as well. So please do not ready up. We will take a break. The admins will tell you when you can go. So I'll see you in a bit. I need to get another coffee next to the little boys' room, and then I'll be back. So see you shortly. Right, hello guys. I's back. Pretty sure. Oh, Liam's just joined. He must have been kicked. Hope he doesn't mess the strategy and that up for him. A P15, what a day. It's a snake. Well, it makes it interesting for us viewers, Snake, seeing the likes of yourself and Reed having to perhaps try and battle through to get to the sort of positions you might be more used to. But yeah, it makes it interesting. Just while we're waiting for the ready up shout to go out, I'm just gonna take a quick look. So I still can't do the get the slides on at the moment, so for standings and stuff. So I'll just nip into the driver standings. So then, at the moment, no real surprise that Carsey has taken the lead. However, of course, he's not here tonight, so a chance for Moomin, who's currently P2 in the standings, and Racing J currently P3, and Danny currently P4, to make that ground up on him, or make some ground up. So Carsey on 145, having won 4 races in a row now. Moving on 101, 92 for Racing J and 90 for Danny. Then Mr. Whale, I don't know how he's in P5, but he is on 83. Rocket Reed on 61. Dean Bryce 58. Liam on 49. Stroudy 46. And Freeman Gee's also not with us tonight on 42. Then we got Gaz on 42 as well. So that fills out our top 10. Just have a quick look at the constructors. So the constructors at the moment. We got, hang on. Okay, so Ferrari lead the way on 164, Alpine P2 on 130, Red Bull in P3 on 124, so nice and close. Then we got a couple of others that are close. Aston Martin on 106, who jumped ahead of Williams last week. We're currently on a square 100. So Williams will be looking to get that back this week, hopefully. Then the rest of the constructors are Mercedes 63, McLaren 51, AlphaTauri on 40, Alfa Romeo on 26, and Haas on 14. So, some tight battles going on. It's really good. Just a shout out, Carsey isn't with us tonight because he's racing in WOR, so I've just seen in chat that he's doing exceptionally well, and I believe he's taken pole position in that race, so congratulations to Carsey. Let's hope he comes back with some good news later on. Snake hoping to do a Perez. We all wish we could do a Perez. As Danny spins. It's all becoming seemingly a bit too obvious. Danny's been disqualified. Okay, I was about to say it's all becoming a bit too obvious, people spinning on formation laps to heat tyres, but if that's what Danny was doing, it's completely backfired on him and stuck him on the grid, so who cares now. And maybe it wasn't on purpose in a way, I don't know. I do know it's something that people are doing in the game, and it's not on. I know well, I can only tell you from my point of view in the league that I'm admin in, we are stamping down on it. And anybody suspected of it will be given a qualifying ban for the next race, so we are really clamping down on it. But what I can say is whether it's a sport, or it's a game, or anything like that, if people can gain an advantage within the rules, but gain an advantage, they will do it. So, gotta be firm. In a way. Danny then, pole position, he's starting on the hard tyres, so I'm going to put 100 quid on Racing J being P1 by the time we get to turn 1. He's starting on the mediums. Moomin also starting on the hards in P3. Well on the mediums. Dean Bryce on the mediums. Cool on the hards. Mediums for Gonzo and Junkie. Hards for Daguna and mediums for Gaza. Stridey's then on the hards. The only other hard tire driver is Rocket Reed at the back. Everybody else on mediums. I'm a little surprised to see so many drivers on the hards. 19 drivers on track. It's, as far as the safety car risk goes throughout the season, Bahrain is one of the lower ones, I would say. But you do still see them. And if it was to happen at the right time, the guys that are starting on mediums could gain a huge advantage. But we'll see. Hopefully we won't have one and we can just have a clean race all the way through. But I'm not getting a nice camera angle. Well, I'm getting a nice camera angle down, sort of halfway down the field, which is good. And then when I get to Gonzo, it goes all tits up. Back from Danny. Oh, from Danny, I could just see some buildings. Alright, let's go to Whale. And look at Racing J get off the line. He's absolutely flown. Whale bogs down. Looks like Danny's bogged down as well. That's Danny on the inside there. As we are just... Oh, for goodness sake, give me an angle, Codis. There we are, that's better. Everybody just looks to get through the first 3 turns safely. And I think they have. It looks to me, yeah, because Hughes is down there. Rocket Reed's at the back there. So everybody has gotten out of the first few turns safely. It's the main thing, but... Oh, I say that operator has a little spin, but he's already going again. He's only 2 seconds off the bat, so it's not too bad. But the big news here then, Racing J leads. Dean Bryce P2, Moomin stayed P3, but of course on those hards. Gonzo is putting him under pressure in P4. Gaza's up to P5. What a start from Gaza. Danny is down to P7. Well, down to 6. Part of the reason why it's a surprise to see people starting hards around there. Okay, Moomin's got to come out without actually losing a place, which is superb for him. But it is a long run down to turn 1, so it's Gonzo goes to the outside, is having a look, may look to try and cut back onto the home straight. Let's go on board. Let's just get it to position changes as well. So as you can see, Gaz up 5. Dean and Gonzo also up 3. 5 is the biggest gainer at the start. Gonzo trying his best to see if he can get past Newman. It's actually stand a better chance once DRS activates on lap 3. So, oh, and Reed's had to pit. Just noticed, but Reed has had to pit. So it's a shame for him. And he'll be hoping for a safety car, I'd imagine. So, getting back into this race. Snake, by the way, has dropped a few places. Oh, Liam Ash has joined. I didn't know he left. So he joined back earlier on, but... Apologies, Liam, if I'd have seen that, I'd have invited you. So, the end of this lap, DRS will activate, but they won't actually have it on the straights. And I don't think they get it in the lead. Oh, I'm not sure, actually. They might get it in the lead up to turn 4. I'm not entirely sure. So Jason's fastest lap. Does anybody override that? So Racers J's job at the moment is basically create as big a gap as possible. Because obviously the advantage will then swing back to Moomin and Danny later in the race. Superb view. Absolutely superb view. Love that one. Currently on Whale, who's having a look at Gaza. A superb start from the Williams man. And of course now DRS is activated. So close to the back of Gaza, but no contact. Gaza was slightly wide, which is not giving him the best of exits. And both have DRS. Gaza looks to defend on the outside. It's still side by side. Into the fast right-hander, and Gaza does fend well off. That is superb driving. Absolutely superb battling. Fending. It does mean, though, that Gaza has dropped out to 1 second, so he's not going to get the DRS. So you would think now that Whale will sell by pretty comfortably. Danny's probably going to catch up very close to Gaza as well, to be honest. And a bit further up, Gonzo was not able to get past Moomin. So there is an element here for Moomin. The more he can hold people up at this early point, while his hard tyres are sort of dragging themselves towards the sort of pace that the mediums have got, the easier it should be for him later in the race when he's actually trying to make positions. So, oh, Gaza! Oh, I think he's lost his wing. I think there's been a oh, no, has he? I'm not so sure, right? No, I think it's just a spin then. Hasn't lost his wing, or he's just hit the Haas who spun. That was operator. Just to have a look. Again, I don't think it's damaged Gaza's car. So just get back on his way and try and do what he can from here. So far then, Gonzo, as of yet, not able to get past Moomin. Let's go on board. So Moomin gets a lot better exit. Ah, no. So I'm not sure why he couldn't do it last lap, but this lap absolutely flies by. And now, of course, Moomin's task will be to stay on the back of that Haas and get towed along with the use of DRS. He might get... Well, he ran a bit wide out of turn 3, so that's going to stop any chance of getting back past. But, say, Gonzo's got good pace, so if we can stick on the back of Gonzo, save up his energy while staying close enough to him with the use of DRS, as we got set to 1 yellow. I think that's cool. Indeed it is. He rejoins. This operator is coming up, but gets back up speed enough to hold operator off. Snake and Gaza through. Let's try and find ourselves a battle. This is Baguna and Junkie. They are together on track. Superb. That's what we want to see. And Baguna's just edged within a second to the Mercedes of Strady. So some really good races going on out there at the moment. Strady up 4 places. He's doing very well. Gonzo having a superb race. Up 4 as well. Dean as well. See, Racing J, once he knew he was starting on the mediums with Danny on the hards, once he knew that was the case, his goal was to be P1 at turn 1, and that's what he did. He actually flew off the line. You see it week in, week out. Kersey actually made the remark in the interviews after last race that as soon as he sees Racing J in P2 or P3 and he's on pole, he knows he's not going to be P1 by turn 1, so he just sort of deals with it. And he's not the only one that I've seen say that either. I've heard Hambo say that if people know him. Spinner there, I think, was Snake, I think. Dropped back down below operator, so I think it was. Some others having a quietly good race. Mark in P10 is up 4 places. Oozer's up 6 to 12. Leary's up 4. So say there's some really good races going on through the field so far tonight. And just losing a chance of many overtakes at the moment because people are cancelling each other out with DRS. Gonzo should be susceptible to Moomin, but I don't think at this point Moomin's... Well, he is using energy, but that's because he's got to defend from Whale. Danny is lurking. You see the Ferrari just on the back. Look, that is Danny on the back of Well. So he is still very much there. He's not gone anywhere yet. It's without a doubt Advantage Racing J. So I was a little surprised to see certain people starting on hards, but it's... I mean, I'd say it's probably working for Moomin at the moment. It's not working out too bad for him, but the others not so much. But having said that, Danny ain't exactly that far behind, is he? He's only there, so... As much as Danny might have been expecting to lose P1 to Moomin, I can't imagine for a second he was expecting to bog down so badly that he dropped to P7. The other man, Dean Bryce, you basically hadn't seen that here he is. And P2 is holding the pack behind at bay, just over a second behind. So there's an overtake a bit further down the field. A couple of overtakes down the field, actually. Junkie gets ahead of Dagooner in their personal battle. And the other one, I believe, was Snake getting past Leary, but he's back behind again. So no, he couldn't have been because he's 3.2 behind. I'm not sure where the other one was. Might have been called by the pool getting past Leary, actually. That would make more sense. So Snake picks up a penalty. Let's just go to tyres again. I needed 2 penalties on track so far. As this battle continues, you just cannot get past Moomin at the moment. But, just looking, actually, I think, yeah, Moomin's dropped out of the 1 second, so he's going to be vulnerable now to Whale, who would love to get past him and put in between him and Danny. So here they are down the pit straight. And look at Whale go. Now, is Danny going to get this done as well? Just runs out of tarmac too early. Whale moves in. You are reaching the point, though, where the mediums won't be so good. So, Whale's gotten past, but I don't fancy his chances of actually disappearing from him, because those hards should be coming into their own a bit now. Maybe another lap or two. I say that. Well, I've put up 6 tenths already, half a second now. So nothing else. So guard strategy. Trying to remember. It's a little while since I did Bahrain now. It's not that long ago, but it's long enough that I can't really remember. But I think it's about 12 laps on mediums, 17 on hards. If it's not that, it's very close to it. It might be 13 and 16. Of course, that's only a suggestion from the game. You don't have to go with that. Your strategy may change in your mind. Multiple times, actually, depending on how you're actually doing on track. His operator gets past Liam Ashtar. Liam's had a spin. It's not going so well for the McLarens tonight at the moment, but plenty of time for that to change. So sticking with this, obviously, because they're so close, but let's just go. Cool, but the pool's just gotten ahead of Gaza. So he's gradually making his way through the pack now, Cool. Losers is the next man up the road for him. Gaza hadn't given up on that place, but That is a sign. I think that's a little sign for us that maybe the hards are starting to come into their own now. As Leary has to pit and he goes to fresh hards, so presumably going to the end, maybe pitting early to try and get a little bit of an undercut on those around him. Let's just go. Mr. Gunner still on the back of Junkie Emperor. Couldn't have written this any better, these two being so close on track as they are. There's Mark just behind them. So Mark's very good strategy wise, is Mark, so he'll be trying to work out how could I get the jump on these two. Can I do it by pitting early, or should I maybe extend? It's hard to know. But there's your answer. He's going to pit early and he's going to go for an undercut. So that's deliberate from Mark. He's close enough to these two that that's what he's thinking. I may well be able to undercut the pair of them as the Gunner gets back past Junkie Emperor. And Mark's thinking ahead there because he's thinking not only because he can come out on fresh tires, but because they're fighting each other as well. And while two drivers fight each other, they tend to lose time. And Danny has gotten past Moomin, by the way, for P5. So, and you can just see these guys are catching. So Gonzo's caught Dean Bryce. So maybe we might see Dean in at the end of this lap. Rather than trying to defend and expend, well, he's already expended his energy. And that's an AlphaTauri round. We've only got one AlphaTauri, so it must be Snake. Which is, drops him back behind the Haas, which means he's back in the position he started, so not enjoying Bahrain so much at the moment. So Dean dummied a pit stop. So side by side. Gonzo may be looking to get a cut back and take this up to turn 4 instead. Nowhere near, unfortunately, into turn 4. So, and Whale has pitted onto the hards. So he's gone earlier. It's a decent sized lap this. You're looking race laps being 1:33-ish. So it's quite a long lap, really, in terms of Formula 1 these days. Laps do tend to be shorter than this, so I would think the undercut would be the stronger option. Sometimes feel for our leaders in situations like this because you don't ever see them. We haven't seen Racing J since we saw him fly off the line because so far in front. I think Racing J probably at some point would have set himself a little target of a gap he could create to make it easier for him to defend the lead in the second half of the race. And the beautiful thing is, of course, he doesn't need to pit. He can stay out and react to what people are doing behind him. So Dean pits, Dean is in, Gonzo stays out, so Gonzo's going for the overcut. Now Danny is ahead of Moomin and well pitted, so Danny's up into P3 and already on the back of Gonzo. And yes, he does have the RS. Dean Bryce comes out in P11. He's out in P11, just behind Oozers, just ahead of Gaza. And I guess, most importantly, ahead of Whale. But, well, this is not ideal for Whale, is it? He's suddenly found himself in really bad traffic. Let's have a look at the inside of Gaza. Gaza leaves plenty of room for him. But but that enabled Gaza a better exit. A really good racing. Much respect shown from both drivers. Plenty of room left in all scenarios. We saw some great racing from these two earlier on in the race, for a different position obviously, but much higher up, but superb to watch. As Gonzo then does react. Sorry, let's just get back to that. Australian to P4. So Gonzo. There's Gonzo. And here's Dean. So it looks like the overcut has probably worked for Gonzo. He's still heating his tyres up, remember. So Dean is likely to close this gap. So not much in it, but it looks like the overcut just worked slightly for Gonzo. And after this corner, Dean should be within the 1 second. Visibly see the gap getting less, so he is within the 1 second now. So they are tight, and Whale is just behind the pair of them. So much as they were, and I would imagine Racing J is in. Obviously the guys on hards are going to stay out. So Danny will take the lead of the race. Moomin into P2. Stroudy will move into P3 with, I think, the Gooner going into P4. I think, where is Racing J? Yes, the Junkie pitted, Soul pitted, so Racing J will be out in P5 then. As you can see, everybody struggles into turn 1 when they come out on hard. Well, probably on mediums as well, to be honest. Junkie exits, Soul exits. So Junkie will be looking for the undercut on the Gooner now. That's going to be an interesting one to watch for 2 or 3 laps time. Gonzo, Dean and Whale. Good racing. These 3, to be quite honest, they've all pitted, so they could be going fighting like this to the end. Potentially swapping positions around because of DRS. So the guy at the front will never have the DRS. Dean just looks a bit racy at the moment, doesn't he? He's pretty desperate to get past the Haas. And now the question is, as the Gooner pits then. Okay, so he's reacting quick to Junkie Emperor. So maybe a little bit early for the mediums, but it's only a lap or 2, so it's not too bad. And I think he is doing that in order to react to Junkie, who is not going to get past, I don't think. I think the Gooner is going to exit in time. He is, and there he is on the right of the screen. Should see him in the background here. Junkie just appearing. And you would think now that the Gooner is going to win that battle, having opted to go with hards first onto the mediums. Stage 3 continue. Just looking down for any other battles at the moment. There's a potential Soul on the back of Reed. Reed still to pit. Obviously did pit right at the start, but we'll need to pit again. As Danny is in. Danny pits. Okay. Moomin follows him. Stridey's going to go through and take the lead of this race. Racing J will go through this. We know that in a way. Cool by the pool. It's only just dawned on me. Oh no, Cool by the pool hasn't pitted yet. Sorry, I thought... okay. Yeah, he gets ahead of Moomin. And he squeezes ahead of Danny. But of course he has to pit yet. But that is important to Cool by the Pool's race, because so you didn't want to get stuck behind two drivers that are heating their tyres up for half a lap or so. As Dean gets past Gonzo. Oh, Gonzo was a little touch on the back of Dean. But, I don't think there was any damage done there to either car. So Dean does get through. So superb race these three are having. And always a chance they might be sort of looking, thinking, hang on, why are we still in? They can't see everything that's going on ahead of them, so they don't know how many cars ahead still need to pit. Obviously we know there's still two. And the two that do need to pit will definitely drop behind them, so Stridey's on his way into the final corner now. Fully expect him in. So you want to be able to take advantage of your mediums. So, oh, no, I don't. Has he? Yes, he has pitted yet. So in comes Stridey. Racing J will retake the lead of this race then. Cool by the pool is in. I think sensible, because if he'd have stayed out, he'd have had Danny and Moomin attacking him, which would have slowed him down. So makes sense to make a stop there. So Tom Stridey, there he is, just ahead of Daguna. I think Daguna's got some undercut there actually, hasn't he? And he's going to take that lead. Obviously Stridey's got to get the tyres up to temperature, so Daguna into P7. So that's some undercut for Daguna to get ahead of Stridey. And Cool by the Pool has come out in P12, but was drivers ahead to pit, yeah. Oh, and Gazza's retired. Gazza's out. I think that's in the pits. So not sure what's happened there. Very unlike Gazza to just retire. He's not doing that because it's a bad race. I'm 100% sure he will have had damage of some sort. Gazza, if you're listening, if you haven't already, make sure you clip it if you got damage. You've got to be able to show it in a clip if you're going to retire. As Racing J sets fastest the lap of the race, but it's quickly followed by Danny. And the chase is on. The chase is on to the end of this race. Danny, that lap was significantly faster than Racing J's, even though Racing J set a fastest lap. So if you remember back to before the pit stops, Danny and Moomin were behind Dean and Gonzo and Whale. So those two have jumped by staying out, and these three battling each other. They have jumped these guys as Reed pits, and he's going to have a go on softs to the end. So you may well, and Sol's doing the same actually, so you may well see another fastest lap jumping up from one of them. Rear wing damage, Gazza, was it? Okay. Just make sure you got a clip of it, mate. Please. I just knew, Gazza, that you wouldn't be retiring for, like, because you weren't enjoying the race or whatever. You don't do that, so you'd have just seen it out to the end, regardless of where we were, but yeah, it was a shame for the spin earlier on. I didn't see it. I don't know if somebody hit you, but would explain the rear wing damage if they did. But You had a great start, didn't you? You flew up 5 places on the start, and right in there battling for points. As Gonzo goes to the inside of Dean, I said these guys may well swap positions through to the end of the race. Poor old Wild is basically stuck on the back of these, thinking, "What? But there's nothing I can do to get past either of them. I'm stuck here." So, keeping an eye on that gap between Racing J and Danny, and it is coming down. But Racing J won't panic. He knows at some point it's hard to come good against the mediums. It's just a case of don't panic, keep doing the best laps you can. In the meantime, and I do apologise to other drivers that we are kind of watching these guys predominantly. It's just the way it is. They're battling. We'll go down again to the Gunner on the back of Stradey now. So he was battling with Junkie in the first stint. It's a fantastic undercut from the Gunner. He's got a heavy lead over Junkie now, but actually found himself Stradey, who's had to get back past him. Stradey having a superb race again this week. Really enjoy watching Stradey when he's at the top of his game like this. So just looking for other battles that might be developing. Snake's close to the back of Reed, but Reed's on fresh soft tyres. So we've not really got other battles developing at the moment. It is these two, Australian Daguna, and these three here, Gonzo, Dean and Whale. Obviously there may be a battle for the lead a bit later. That's it, mate. Wasn't to be. Your teammate's doing a great job out there now, man. Dean Bryce, I think he'd be a little bit disappointed that he's currently in a battle for P4, because he basically ran P2 through that whole of the first stint. But because the three of these have ended up next to each other on track, as we've got a yellow flag, and that's Sol. He's had a spin on his softs. But yeah, because these three have ended up battling, it allowed Danny in movement to overcut them. So instead of fighting for P2, he's now fighting for P4. I have to say that he's done a superb job, just like, well, and Whale and Gonzo have as well. Absolutely brilliant race from all of them. And finally, Whale gets a chance. Looks at the inside of Dean. Oh, Dean gets a bit out of shape. Luckily, he saves it. Just for a moment there, it looked like he was going to have the car move right on him into Whale, but luckily he saved that. So now Whale can start to have a look. It's good because they're all on hard tyres. Nobody's got the tyre advantage. You could say, well, Gonzo has because he's got the fresher ones, but the hards wear so slowly that they're all very similar on pace in a way. Obviously, Wales at a disadvantage because of the penalty. But look at Stradey as well. Stradey and Daguna are almost on the back of this. This is going to turn into a 5-way battle. So there's Stradey. That's them ahead. And there's Daguna behind him. It's going to turn into a 5-car battle. Oh, and Gonzo picks up a penalty. That might just give Well a little bit of a... Has he got DRS? No. So it might just give Well a little bit of an incentive. He has got the most energy out of the three of them. Like 20% more. I'm surprised not seeing using it. That is a McLaren round, and that was Liam. So just to mention for some other guys that maybe down towards the back that don't normally get a mention. Oh, who was that? That's Sol. Sol spun in exactly the same place as Liam did, and is now finds himself a lap down. I want to give Leary a little mention actually, because he's not had the easiest of times since he joined WAOF1. He struggled to get to the end of a race, but he's still on the lead lap at the moment in P16. Going very well this week, so well done to him. So, anyway, well, I was just falling off the back. And, so I was a little surprised not seeing him using his energy earlier in that lap to get back on the DRS of Gonzo, because without the DRS off of Gonzo, he's going to be vulnerable to Dean again. Not that Dean looks to be getting much of a overpace on him, but overspeed on him, but there we go. And Australian Daguna have joined this battle. Cool by the pool gets ahead of Mark into P10. I mentioned earlier that Mark did try a move. He moved early for the stops to try and get the undercut on the guys ahead of him, but unfortunately, well, it did work. He got him ahead, but he's now struggled, and that's the Aston Martin Assault he's being let. So, anyway, obviously, this battle still remains the one to watch. Well, he's just about back within the 1 second, or he's just dropped out again. Just seems that those extra 2 laps younger that Gonzo's tyres are just seem to enable him to take the corners that tiny little bit quicker. It's making it hard for Whale to nip back within the 1 second. Dean's quite happy because he's just happy to follow these guys now. Although, of course, he is going to come under pressure now from Stroudy and the Gooner. Stroudy doing that long stint on the hards. He's generally got the tyres to fight here. He really could. I'd love to be able to battle through as Mark pits. He's going to go to softs for the last few laps. Had a bit of a gap to Oozers, so he is going to lose the position to Oozers and Reed. But I think that's more for a fun thing. He's going to see if he can set the fastest lap, I think. It looked to me like Stroudy had a little touch on the back of Dean there. So be careful of that. Last thing you want to do at this moment is pick up... Oh my word! And Dean's ended up round. And I think that was a bit of the old pushing each other into... So, it's a bit of a shame because we saw some great battling between Well and Gaza through there. And they showed how it can be done. This was a bit different because they had the 3 of them in a row. But, let's just go... So, Whale somehow has gotten ahead of Gonzo. Apologies, we missed that. Gonzo is going to get the DRS down the main straight to try and take that back. On board. Yeah, he should be close enough that he gets this quite easily. Oh, and we've got a retirement. Snake has crashed. Is it a safety car? It is. It's going to be a very, very short safety car, but it is one nonetheless. Oh, wow. What a time for that to come. Oh, Racing J is going to be fuming. Racing J is gonna be livid. With the amount of laps we got left, it was looking like Danny wasn't going to be able to catch, to be honest. Or at least not catch and overtake. But, well, it's so difficult because not many people have got the gap to be able to pit. So, Cool can definitely pit. He's got a gap. And he can go to softs for a couple of laps. Mind you, I say this, guys, you've got to catch up to the safety car. It's only going to be out the one lap. So, I'm not sure anybody can really risk pitting. Where is Racing J now? So he's coming into turn 1. So I say that, I don't think Cool by the Pool can pit, because he'd have to get back round to the safety car. So, for me, I think they've all got to stay out. Gonzo has opted to pit. Well, so as Stroudy. This could be a monumental mistake from these guys. If one of them stays out, I think they took the position off the other. Well, Dean has, so we're going to see, in a sense, because Dean has stayed out and taken that position, as does the Gooner. So we'll see, I guess. But where is Gonzo? He's just coming through turn 1. The safety car is going into that difficult left-hander. Well, let's put it this way. These guys cannot dawdle around in catching the safety car. They've got to rush. So the safety car going down straight. A lot of cars pitted further down the order and have ended up a lap down as well. So the safety car queue is actually a lot bigger than it should be right now. So Gonzo having pitted. Cool by the Pool's getting close to the back of the safety car queue, which is coming into... There's the confirmation in this lap. They are not catching up as it is. Gonzo, I think, is going to get pretty close, but I don't think that Stroudy and Well are going to catch it. And look at Rocket Reed, who's just suddenly appeared in the points. Okay, he's on 8 lap hold softs, but he's in the points, which looked impossible earlier in the race. So, who knows? Gonzo catches it. He's a lucky boy. He is a lucky boy. Whale picks up a penalty, trying to do it. Stroudy has caught it. Whale can see it, but he's not called it. There's a McLaren. He's just still recovering to the track. They were just getting out of the way, letting people through. So, turn 1, a bit of a melee going on. I think we've got through it. Cool by the Pool actually picks up a penalty there for a corner cut, but I mean, he used what road he could. I'll try and make sure I scroll down the incidents at the end. I'll try and remember to do it, because they may ask to get that removed. So, obviously I would have gone to the leaders, but actually Racing J's pulled out a 1.3 second gap, so this is where the action is. It's Gonzo and Stroudy battling. So, someone tell that McLaren to get out of the way. Come on, your teammate got out of the way beautifully. You do the same, please. I know you're ghosting, but still, just get out of the way because it's distracting. Dean. Still there. Oh, let's go to the Mercedes. We'll probably get a better view from them. Stroudy is going to have a look as well. Wow. Lots of people side by side. McLaren, please just get out of the way. Some mad fighting. Look at the Gooner. Oh, and is that cool? It is. So we've got one casualty from it. Cool by the pools ended up off. That's promoted Junkie Emperor. Mark is coming up onto the back of him. There is Mark, who can now, well, he doesn't have to get the overtake because Cool's got a penalty. But just in case he gets that removed, I guess. Mark would like to get it done on track, as he does. So Mark ahead, looks like Cool's had another little spin. And I hadn't realised Dean Bryce has got a drive-through, which is going to get added to his time. He's going to drop miles down. Oh, what a... That's so unlucky, unless it's one that you can get removed. But let's go to the winner. Racing J wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Danny in second, Moomin in P3. Those three guys have been absolutely superb tonight. The Gooner, what a job. What a decision to stay out. Used, well, it's a brainy drive. It's a brainy drive from the Gooner, which gained in that 4th place. Stroudy has been absolutely superb all the way through, so fair play to him. Gonzo as well. Can't fault him. Whale, superb. Loved the battles with Gaz earlier in the race. Superb. Junkie Emperor in P8 on his debut. Well done, man. Picked up some points on your debut. Mark ended up P9. Of course, Dean got demoted down because of the drive-through. So Mark ended up P9. Well done, Mark. Few others. I'll confirm the rest of the positions. Dean, gutted. I'm gutted for you, man. You drove absolutely superb. Yeah, obviously, Dean. Yeah, I think I know what Strady's talking. There was a bit where there was 3 of you in a row, and Strady got a knock from behind. But it was all a bit close. But in a way, let's not dwell on the bad stuff. It was an absolutely superb race. But obviously, any instance like that, please do submit them so that the stewards can take a look. Right, I'm just gonna. We'll see the end of the podium. Then I'll finish counting down the results and get the boys in for the interview. But I want to make sure I get the instant reports in as well for the stewards. So, Racer J wins. I've done through those. Fastest lap went to Danny, by the way, 1:30.418. So I got down to Mark. So well done, Mark on P9. Picked up a couple of points. Good job. Cool by the pool, P10. Reed so close to recover into a point. So close. Well done, man, but unlucky. Dean obviously hugely unlucky. Not Williams' night in the end. Oozers, good race, man. You drove well. Operator as well. Liam, Leary, your best drive for us so far. So well done, man. If that was you in the McLaren at the end, please just get out of the way. You probably don't know that though, so you know. But just move out of the way. Treat it as if you're not ghosted. Same if it was Liam as well. And Liam, please just treat it like you're not ghosted, whichever McLaren it was. I don't know which one of you it was. Right then, they're going to disappear. Let's hope they're still here. So, 3 guys that, to be fair, we hear from on a regular basis in the podium interviews. But nonetheless, let's not butter them up too much. Let's just get them in. So just Racing J, and if the other 2 left the lobby, don't leave the lobby. Makes it easier for me to. Right, so Moomin and Danny. I can't invite Danny. He's disappeared. Moomin. There's Moomin. Right. Here comes Moomin. Okay, guys, if you could just include your audios, please.
Done.
Okay. I don't know if either of you've got Danny added. I have, but he's not showing up on mine to be able to invite him. So I don't know if either of you have got him added. That you might be able to invite him. Sure, I've got him added.
I
He should be on my.
haven't.
No. Let me see if he's on the not connected list thingy. Yeah, there he is. It says last seen 1 minute ago. He may have already switched off. That might be what it is. Okay, I've invited him in anyway, so if he joins, great. Um, right, Moomin, let's
Yeah,
come to you first, man. Congratulations on your podium once again. Um,
thank you.
Superb race, really. I mean, actually, out of the guys that started on the hard, you had the best start, and somehow you came out of all the sort of first corner fracas and that you were still in P3. So you stayed where you started, which, going by how the other guys got off to how they started, was awesome. And to be honest, you just kept it from there. You know, you defended for the first stint mostly. Um, only to then to be able to, but it that built up to you being able to consolidate the position in the second stint. So, congratulations. Is that how it went for you? Was that the plan?
Yeah, I was chancing by taking the hard in the first stint, and it was horrible. People were overtaking me. I had no chance keeping up. The corners were bad. So, but the second stint with the medium was great. And also when the hard tires were in the end of the first stint, when the hard tires were still good, then I started to catch again. But I
Yeah.
couldn't catch the two first people. Impossible. So I just took it easy to secure my third places instead of spinning.
Yeah, but that's what you got to do, and you're racking up the podiums for the season now, which I think in a moment is seeing you sitting P3 in the championship, or it was before tonight. I don't think that would have changed because I think Racing J was P2, so he's
Mm.
won. Danny was P4, but I don't think that's enough points to get him ahead of you. So I think you'll still be P3, but as I say, you're racking up the podiums.
It's fun.
You're going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season if you keep doing that. So,
Yep, I hope so.
you know, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but you drove superbly.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It was a very, very, very good performance.
Thank you.
Um, I'll come to Racing J then. Obviously, we've not got Danny in there. So, Racing J, in all fairness, I said on commentary when I saw that Moomin and Danny were on hard tires and you were on mediums, I said I'm having £100 now on Racing J being P1 by turn one. So I don't know how much money I'm getting back on that, but I won in a way. Um, but regardless of that, from that moment. I guess your job was to build as big a gap as you could, which is what you did. Danny was catching you pretty rapidly in the second stint, but I don't think he'd have got there, if I'm honest, even without the safety car. So, you were absolutely dominant today, man. Did it feel that dominant, or were you getting a bit worried about Danny catching you?
Towards the end, yes, and then when the safety car came, I did sort of start to panic, but then once I sort of pulled away when the safety car went in, I knew that I just had 2 laps and I'd already built like a second on him. So I sort of knew, all right, I've just got to keep that pace as it was because the hards weren't really. I didn't really think the hards were too much slower. I was expecting them to be a lot more slower. I was expecting Danny to catch me sort of about a second a lap, really. But
Yeah,
I mean, from the start of the race, as soon as I saw Danny spin on the formation lap, and then he got disqualified and put to the grid, I knew, okay, as long as I get a decent start, I'm guaranteed to be to
yeah.
get the lead, basically.
Once
Then,
that
as you
once that
said,
medium grip kits in,
yeah, and then just as you said, really, it was just about creating a big gap. I was sort of had my eye on movement as well, because even though I was still obviously going quicker, I didn't really know how much quicker the mediums would be against me.
yeah,
So it wasn't really a boring race for me. It was more I was just trying to calculate other people really.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean, I get that because you do, even though when you got a gap, it's not happened to me very often, but when I have had a gap out in the lead, in fact, I think it's only happened to me once at Spa really, where I had a decent gap, and your mind starts playing on you. What if I do this? What if I do that? What? Hang on, they're pitting to the opposite tire, and your mind can start playing on you a little bit, and you've just got to try and avoid that, keep it clear, and just get on with it really. And but no, you did that superb, and again, then on the safety car restart, I did say in commentary he's going to be fuming, absolutely fuming at this point, because I didn't think Danny was going to catch you, because he was gradually the amount he was catching was gradually getting less and less each lap,
Yeah.
and so I didn't think he was quite going to catch you, and then the safety car came out, and I thought, oh, he's going to be fuming, he's going to be absolutely fuming, but as you said, you made a good restart and got a gap straight away, and that's that defended it. I still haven't chose a driver of the day. Ultimately, I mean, you were absolutely dominant racing, Jay. So, oh, Moomin, you really want one, didn't you? I tell you what, you're definitely in the running. Racing Jay, you were dominant. There were some great performances down the field. Straddy's had another really good week this week. So shout out to him. Leary in the McLaren, okay, finished P16, but that's since he joined us. That's a great, that's really good for him to get on the board, get a finish on the board. Debut points for Junkie Emperor as well, so shout out. But I think my driver today, because of their decision to actually stay out at the end, paying off massively, I think it's going to go to Dagooner. So well done to Dagooner. And I'll let the drivers decide that who gets the driver one. So my driver of the day goes to Dagooner. Oh, here's Danny. He must have forgot us and he's joined back on just specifically. Hey, Danny.
Hello.
Yo, man. Make sure to include your audio, mate.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I've talked to the other two already. I was just about to wrap up. So, just
I
quickly
missed it. I forgot.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries. Great race, man. You had some, obviously, let's start with the bad bit. The start was worse than one of my starts, man. You went from P1 down to P7. That was a special one, I got to be honest. But you stuck with it. You battled through. So take us through the first stint in a way, and how that went.
I mean, it started off with the formation lap. Like, I wasn't paying attention. I never do information laps, and I just put it in the wall and spun. And I wanted to get back on track, and the game just said no, and put me on the grid. And I had ice cold tires, like they were 69 degrees or something like that. So I did not get off the line at all, obviously. And I knew it. Like, I knew it at the point I was on the grid. I was like, okay, just don't win or kill somebody. But at that point, this race is going to be really hard to win, because I saw Racing Jay on mediums and I was like, yeah, he might get past on the start, but I might stick with him and can annoy him a bit. But obviously, with 70-degree tires, it's going to be really hard to stick with anybody. Like, they just have to keep it on track. So I try to not kill anybody, keep it clean, and then stick in DRS and like play some mind games for some people with the ERS management, which kind of worked out. I mean, the hard sim was a bit annoying because I couldn't go my pace, but I had to always think about my ERS and literally the strategy. And afterwards with the mediums,
okay,
I could go on.
You got to the pit stop, and it actually works out for both you and Moomin perfectly. You both got the overcut on like Whale, Dean, and Gonzo, which works out perfectly for both of you. You both got out ahead of them, which would have been a goal. Obviously, you're then on the medium tyres. You look up at the gap to Racing J. It was quite big. It wasn't going to be easy to catch that. You were catching. It was gradually getting less and less each lap that you were catching, but you were catching him. Do you think you would have caught him come the end, or do you think the tyres were probably going to go before?
Kind of difficult. I don't know. I think I would have gotten very close at the end, at the last lap. But
Yeah.
then, like I was in a good groove. I made some little mistakes, but the pace was overall pretty good on a medium stint because I had free air and I could focus on just myself. And I got in a little flow
Yeah.
there, and the pace was getting better. And then the safety car came out, and I was like, my brain checked out after that. Which is
Yeah.
really sad, but I don't
Well,
think I would have won. I would have probably maybe made it a bit tight in the last lap, maybe.
yeah. I had to say that actually for viewers, the safety car coming when it did was actually kind of interesting because it, not so much for you guys trying at the front, it was the guys that were trying to get that fourth place, because it was going to be one of about five drivers, and three of them pitted and two didn't, and I called it the wrong shout for the guys that pitted because even they're going to fresh softs, I thought they're not going to catch the safety car. It's not. It's going to come in the end of the lap because it can't stay out any longer, and it made it a great little battle at the end. And yeah, there's a couple of contacts in it, but we'll see if anything comes of that. But the Gooner held on to it. His decision to stay out was spot on, and he took the fourth place. But yeah, for that, it was great. But yeah, for you guys at the front, I did say I think Racing J's probably quite fuming when it came out. But you know, in the end, he got away again pretty well off the start and on the restart. I mean, and you know, then 2 laps, no DRS come in, was always going to be difficult. So, but you're P2 again, man. You're constantly on the podium when you race. You were on the podium earlier on in the previous race at 6. So, well done. 2 podiums in a night ain't too bad.
I'm
So,
glad
yeah,
it's
well
over.
done, man. Another
Well, I
hard
mean-
Tuesday night of racing done.
Yeah, I was
Anyway,
feeling a bit sick.
I'll just quickly wrap up. So, anyway, to the guys that have watched, I think we got to 29 at one point, which is just phenomenal. So, thank you very much to all of you. Obviously, I also, as I always say, to all the guys that watch it back as well, thanks to all of you. I really appreciate it. And the league really appreciates it. So, just to confirm myself, I will be back on Friday to do PRF1. So that will be at 8:30. I can't remember which track we're at, but please come and join us for that. Another very good league with good racing. So